Kaiser de Bello Gallico 529. So, though Cotta has and the first centurions of the first ranks have argued that they could take those Germans and that they were pretty good, against these things, Titurius, the other legate, was often shouting that indirect statement clause, they were going to do it too late when the greater bands of enemies, with the Germans having been united to them, would have assembled, or when something of calamity would be accepted in the nearest, or had been accepted, had been happening in the nearest winter quarters. So, namely, saying what you're going to do about this is going to be too late when we got too many enemies out there, and you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a Gaul or a German. And especially when something of calamity had been accepted in the nearest winter quarters, believing that every winter quarters was under siege. He said the opportunity of arguing and consulting is short. That he, indirect statement clause, therefore arbitrar, that's what he said. He was shouting, so he was supposing that indirect statement clause, Caesar profectum esse supplanted, had set out already into Italy. Neither otherwise, indirect statement clause, would have the Carnutes would have going to accept the plan of killing Tasgetius, the Gerundive. Nor were the Ibernes going to be coming to the camp with such great contempt of us if he, Caesar, was near. And that's why it's subjunctive, it's subordinate to an indirect statement clause. That he does not regard the enemy as being the advisor, but the thing or the circumstances themselves. I'm not looking at who's saying it, I'm looking at our situation. Because Rhenum subesse, indirect statement clause, the Rhine was near. The death of Ariovistus, who was the German king, one of the German tribes, had come over in Book 1 and was attempting to be a subcontractor for violence by the Gauls and was starting to take over Gaul. Caesar killed Ariovistus in battle with his rest of his army. So that the death of Ariovistus and our earlier victories were for a purpose of great sadness or great grief to the Germans, dative of reference. Indirect statement clause that all Gaul was burning by means of so many insults, contumelations having been received, ablative of cause, and that Gaul was reduced, at an essay, under the Roman Empire, under the power of the Roman people, with ablative absolute, the former glory of the military thing having been extinguished. So we said, everybody hates us. We need to leave. We're in danger. Lastly, who should persuade this to himself, that indirect statement clause? Who could tell me otherwise? That indirect statement, Ambiorix had descended to a plan of this sort without a certain outcome or certain purpose, without the plan having been cleared. Why would Ambiorix have argued, let's attack the Romans, if they're so small? His opinion is safe. Here's my opinion. It's safe in either two parts. If nothing bad is happening, if there's nothing worse that's going to happen, they would go to the nearest legion without any danger, with no danger. So in other words, at the worst case scenario, we can clearly get to the other legion with no danger. But if all Gaul agrees with the Germans, comes together with then one safety is is placed in speed. So therefore, we have to. The other situation is if it's really bad, we need to leave. Indeed, what is the outcome? Is the advice have concilia has what outcome is what outcome, and of those kata and those. If your opinion is this way, what's the issue? Who those who dissent, of course. What outcome? What outcome does the advice have of Kata and the rest of those guys who dissent with him? In which, if the danger is not present, so sure, you're saying we don't have a current danger, but certainly famine must be was needing to be feared by a long siege. So the arguments are from Titurius. Well, one, the Germans, whatever you plan on doing, you got to do it. It's going to be too late when there's a larger Germans, a larger piece of enemies, plus Germans nearby had assembled. So if you think it's okay, it's going to get really bad. When or something of some other calamity has attacked our nearby legion, and he's thinking that, hey, Caesar's got to be out of here because neither would the Carnutes have killed Tesgetius, nor would the Eburones going to be even coming to our camp with such a contempt for us because they're so small. And furthermore, it's like, what's so bad about taking the enemy as his opinion? I'm not looking at the enemy. I'm looking at what he's saying. Rhine's awful close. Germans hate us too with the death of Ariovistus. Gaul's burning with so many insults haven't been received. They've lost out their power under the Roman people. And who should persuade him of this, that Ambiorix himself would have come to such a plan without, since Ambiorix is such a chicken, he thinks, without this having been safety. So here's our thing. I believe that we have safety in one of two plans. If nothing bad happens, hey, we're just going to take a walk. We're going to get to the nearest legion, no problems. However, if all of Gaul is consenting with the Germans, if they unite with the Germans, there's only one safety, and that's to be placed in speed. So we got to do this quick. So again, Titurius, got to go quick. Caesar goes quick, we got to go quick. Trouble is, he's not Caesar. He's making analysis based on what he sees, not in terms of the death of Tesgetius, geography. He's not looking at things in terms of the here and now. So if there's and even if there isn't a danger, we have to worry about famine because that's what's going to happen in a long siege. So big argument: should I stay or should I go? These things are now being argued out fully, and what will be the result? Will Cotta win in this argument? Will Titurius win? Will they split the legions? All of these and future answers will be probed in our next commentary, True Believers. And until that time,